Welcome to I'm Every Woman podcast, episode 3. We're going to talk today about tattoo taboo, and no one better yet to talk about it than myself, as I'm a licensed cosmetic tattooist. So anyway, I'm here with Connie today, and Connie and I are working together, and we're talking, and she's actually had a couple tattoos, right?
Right.
And we were just talking about the taboo of getting a tattoo and how people actually approach us. I don't have any body art, I just have cosmetic facial stuff like my eyebrows and my eyeliners and my lips, but I don't look tattooed. Most people think that I'm not because I have to actually tell them that I am. But I was just thinking it was interesting. How old are you?
I'm 65.
She's 65, yes. And you have a dragonfly you showed me earlier, a beautiful dragonfly, and a butterfly dragonfly bracelet. Anklet, I guess that would be what you call it.
Yeah,
on your
anklet. I got my anklet at 55. And then for my 61st birthday, I got my nice butterfly close to my anklet. The reason why I got my tattoo at 55, my daughter had bugged me for years. She's 38 now. And I never could think of something I'd really want. And then one day I just went to a tattoo place, started looking, put some things together, and fell in love with it and had it put on my ankle, which I have had many compliments. And I've also had people go, "Oh my gosh, you have a tattoo?" And when I would say when I got it at 55, they looked like I was kind of crazy. But typically, people look at it and think it's very attractive, like jewelry.
Yeah, that's the way I looked at it when I saw it around your...
Well, I used to wear anklets and stuff. I'm a big jewelry person. So it's like my permanent piece of jewelry on my ankle. But the dragonfly, I've always loved dragonflies. I used to play with them kind of when I was a kid, try to catch them. And I have dragonfly pictures and knickknacks at my house. So I decided I wanted a nice dragonfly just for more like a piece of artwork.
Well, it's very colorful too, so I think when they put the color, it says a lot too about the colors that you choose. When a dragonfly, I see a dragonfly. I kind of think of metamorphosis type of thing, you know, like a butterfly. You know, when you see how a butterfly evolves and
right.
the flight of the butterfly and how some butterflies, you know, only have a season of life and different things like that, but the whole significance behind it and the change of it. But then again, when you talk about, I thought the taboo behind the taboo, or the taboo behind the taboo, isn't that something? I literally have had to fight for my business, and that I was located in a location in the St. Louis County area for several years and just relocated under what I was already business licensed as a zoned medical use business to find myself in a lease in another building that wasn't zoned for my use. And when I went to the planning and zoning and the planner of the day and had a meeting about it, you know, what can we do, why are you not approving this business license, to only be told that it would be really hard for me to get a tattoo license for my business in the city of Chesterfield. And I thought, you know, to the girl I looked at and I go, "You said that to the wrong person." I go, "Because I'm not really about the tattoo. I feel like a little bit, yeah. You see. So I stepped back and I just took a look at that for a minute and I thought, there's already a tattoo establishment in Chesterfield that they're grandfathered in because of their location. But I thought, how, you know, why would you say such a thing? I tattoo women's breasts for breast cancer. I do scar camouflaging. I do facial tattooing. I'm really not even a body artist to begin with in that light. And then I relocated to move to a different municipality out 8 minutes from where I'm located in another county to only go through it again. You know?
I know. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but some mentality's never gotten away from Hell's Angels and, you know, the rough motorcycle gangs. And I mean, I don't know. I don't get it because...
Well, for a lot of us, too, a lot of women, I mean, I see a lot of women. I've touched a lot of women over the years. I've touched over 2,000 women at this point, and I have had probably... maybe 75% of them have some form or another, outside of their facial tattoo stuff, they have a body piece that they've had done. And I think for some women too, it's for all ages, it's kind of a, maybe for you, maybe it was a little empowerment, or it was signifying anything other than just age?
Well, I think I did, especially my second one, I think I did it as a right into, well, now I'm 65, I'm really, you know, getting old. 5 years I'll be 70.
Yeah, that's not really old. A lot of people, that's still young. But I think the taboo of behind it, I mean, it's so mainstreamed in a marketplace for a lot of varied reasons. I mean, there are some very high positioned, you know, people in judicial positions. I'm talking about judging people, celebrities, all sorts of different walks of life that have tattoos.
Oh, CEOs, bank managers, you know, my daughter is a professional person. My son-in-law is, and he has a arm sleeve, and he's got his arm tells a story, and it's beautiful artwork. My daughter, she has beautiful tattoos, and would never get on a motorcycle. Is not one to do wild and crazy things. But she loves her tattoos.
Well, and it's not drug related. Like
No,
people too,
no.
they put it in kind of like a category that, you know, there's some sort of judgment on it. I mean, even people from the Jewish faith, I've had come to me to get things, and even in some of the, you know, the biblical terms of things, people are going to go by that.
Right.
You know, the markings and such like that. But there are people that doing it. I mean, I think if you're doing it for medical reasons, doing it, you know, and if you're going to have a concern, but there are a lot of reasons people get their body art. I mean, some of the body art that I've seen on some of the most beautiful pieces are women that have lost their breast, and they've got scarring, or they chose not to get reconstructed, and they've brought a piece over, you know, what it might have been where their breast used to be, and they just decided to put, you know, a beautiful piece there, and that's how they feel about it. And, you know, I think for people to say too, in some of the restrictions here where I am now, there's been discussion in the ordinance for this particular city's municipality that it can't be 1,000 feet from a residential home and 2,500 feet from a school, a daycare, a church, or recreational facility like a gym.
Or what about though if you wanted to sell guns that are, which, you know, I'm not anti-gun, I do believe we need stricter laws, but I imagine you could sell, if you were a gun shop, you probably would not have as much distance stating from different types of businesses or churches, schools. And I mean, look at...
Were we just talking about vapes? The vape shops that are popping
and the
everywhere?
vape shops are everywhere.
Yeah, we were talking about smoking and people smoking and how now it's being, you know, marketed toward our youth and the flavoring and the taste of the vapes. And I'm thinking to myself, how many vape shops and every other corner have I seen, to include the Chesterfield area that I was speaking of, just right down the road. Aesthetically, for me, I mean, I want to look more like a studio of art, so that I have like a gallery of art in my space. I don't want to look like a spa, because I don't have a spa. This is not that kind of world to me. I want it to be more artful, fun, and playful here. And I think for that, it's not about the look of a place.
Right.
It's not being judged off that. It's just
because of the business, this is medically going in for women who have had breast cancer and the disfigurement, and then finally maybe getting the implants and then trying to make it look truly like a breast so they don't feel self-conscious, especially for their partner, you know, when they're with their partner.
Right. As well as, I mean, just the brow stuff. I've done
and
kids as young as 14 years old.
And then the people that have alopecia, that
You're just speaking right where I was going.
Yeah, the people that have whatever disorder, they pull them out or they just fell out.
That was trichotillomania.
And it's very important, especially with the younger population, teenagers, whatever, to look like the rest.
God bless you. I think, I had, my youngest client was actually a 14-year-old this time last year with alopecia. So, you know, getting up in the morning and leaving the shower, which I talked about how steam opens, you know, your pores and pushes pigment out and stuff, that you would refrain from that. But this particular kid had not lost his eyebrows yet. He'd only lost his scalp hair. So he'd already gone through that, and I was already getting, kind of judged and picked at school. How kids talk to kids thinking they've got cancer or something because they've lost their hair and they've got the plague and you can't touch them or talk to them or anything else. And he was just alopecia. So for him to get an eyebrow before he lost the other one was kind of just to hold him over. And I actually didn't even use a machine. I microbladed, so he didn't have the intensity of that and feel it. But yeah, I think it's a great topic of discussion. I mean, and we're just in the middle of America. I think maybe that could be too, that it's where we are located as a state and a community and a country that has a little more progression than what we're seeing. But then again, there are still people that still judge tattoos. I mean, I can see girls wearing a nice, beautiful, $10,000 gown to the Oscars and walking down the red carpet, and you see a tattoo on them, and I'm thinking, yeah, they would have looked a little nicer if she would have covered that up. But again, I'm not judging. I mean, I was just thinking, it's just me in the time frame I'm in, and I guess from where I come, I can't really. I think we all do it in some form or another, but it is a form of expression, and for women in particular, for a lot of varied reasons, to tattoo. So that's a whole topic that could go a lot further. But I'm going to stop now. I mean, for this particular recording for this podcast, I'm going to leave that there and revisit it at another time. But I definitely think it's a topic that's not finished, and especially as we have millennials and our younger generation behind that coming up behind us, actually going to take over the world. We'll be tattooing everybody.
It's going to be a huge difference, and I think it's going to be a better world because these kids have become tolerant because everything's come out in the open. It's not hid, and there's not much out there that I think people.
Well, they're free. It's like free your mind.
Free your mind, yeah.
And be a little more accepting of the world. They're definitely not hippie-like, but yes, I think definitely more like what was trying to rise up in the '60s, where people would just have more of an open mind and more accepting of the world.
Right. I mean, they're just able to be freer with how they want to dress, their hair, their shoes, So, I think it'll be a good thing.
I agree. Well, that's it for this broadcast today. I think it's a great discussion that is not a finished discussion. Taboo, the taboos of tattoo in all shape, forms, and I guess color. Dragonflies. Here's to dragonflies.
Yeah.